they don't sign
No one signed in.
them? Okay. All right, we all want to rest. Congratulations. It's around the corner, just okay. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, since we don't have anyone signing the resolution, Commissioner visitors, we'll go ahead with the roll call.
Secretary? Here. Whittlesey?
Here.
Jones?
Here.
Fletcher? Here. Brock?
Here. Okay, meeting is called to order. I don't have anything in the president's report. I guess I'm talking, so superintendent's report.
Okay, we have two presentations tonight for you. The first one is from Mr. Ken Riley on the sustainability project. The second one is on the bus cameras, and Mr. Tybros and Mrs. Brzezinski is going to present on those. Ken will take the floor. Yes, but we're going to turn off the backlight so you can see the screen, and we'll catch up to stage where we are with that process. The floor is yours. All right, and don't take too long because Mr. Secretary will be right No, just keep me in line.
Good evening, thank you for letting me speak. I was looking at the date of this proposal, it was almost 2 years ago, I can't believe that. Since I stood before you to propose this for most of you. I want to give an update and just maybe take questions at the end and ask for one additional thing, I think, with the fact we talked about. One of the things that we experienced because of the compost program were some fairly major issues. I think probably all of you had experienced some fruit flies maybe last fall or spring or something like that. So we purchased something like 16 UV light traps or blue boards on them. And, we did that, and before the fruit flies were a problem, we left the green recycle bins in the cafeterias. They were in all new form. So the fruit flies would congregate at the pop and the juice and all that kind of stuff. And that was one source of it. So we remove those every night now. So it seems to be, there were no, there might have been a fruit fly or two in the kitchens this fall, which was a minor miracle. I thought the compost was in the water. I didn't think it was going to be solvable. It looks like we did. We had a bird problem, a flock of maybe 250 starlings in the winter, last winter. The issue was, I got a call from Dr. Hill. He said, Ken, birds are pooping on the buses. And it wasn't just a little bit. And it was the issue was that we had different people, students helping with the compost, and they were sleeping uncovered. It's uncovered. You get these critters. The starlings, they're silo birds, will go anywhere in the wintertime. So that was an issue, and they have not been a problem unless someone knows different. But I see them out my window. They mock me a little bit. There were 5 or 6 mocking me at one time now, so I think we solved that problem. The kiosk completion, I heard lots and lots about the time frame for the kiosk. That was a weather thing, really. Well, it was weather and a me thing. I did a lot of the labor. If you saw the piles of gravel, I moved those myself. Got some volunteers to help. So it's me, meaning weather time demands, and then maybe in time for winter and then rainy spring. So it is 99% complete now. The funding, I don't think you're familiar with that. The stormwater grant that has been exhausted officially as of the other day. It's been the last penny of that. Sustainability for educators and the environment there grant also expires. That was something like $29,000 total that has been exhausted. And I just have my little projects, the computer recycling and the TerraSite. It's, I don't know, it's about $700, $800 a year is what we bring in for that. So it's enough to sustain the small things that I don't keep going. I added this mission statement. I think this was just done recently. It wasn't done 2 years ago when we started this, but I think it fits retroactively. What we're trying to do is have community involvement. Experience-based learning is a big part of the sustainability project, especially the Adopt a Tree program that I'll talk about in a few minutes. what we've done since April 2012, this is Mr. Wiles in a math class. We got the LabQuest equipment. So math teachers are using it, science teachers are using it. We're trying to encourage middle school teachers to use this equipment. It's a data interface. You can measure carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere. You can measure oxygen levels. You can measure all kinds of different things. There are literally thousands, maybe not thousands, hundreds of different probes that you can get. So it's the basis for doing a lot of quantitative analysis with math and science. We have the DNA equipment that we got as part of the grant that we will integrate into the advanced biology class, which is new this year, and that's in collaboration with Kent State University. Mrs. Nyland and I went over the summer and spent 2 days with a biology professor there in their lab learning how to use this stuff. We're going to relearn how to use it with our advanced biology students and do some DNA testing, some genomics testing. This is our advanced biology class, 2 students. So we're using equipment and also just using, doing real scientific investigation with these kids. They went out and designed their own experiments in the field that's up by the wastewater plant. This is the north field. So we've stopped mowing that. It used to be a hay field. It's a fantastic meadow with lots of wildlife and all kinds of biodiversity. Some invasives that we will hope to try to eradicate through all kinds of different things. So as far as what I asked you for last April, it was part of it were these trails, and this is where the picture just was. This is that whole hay field. We mowed a couple trails through there. It's basically a football field in size. And then we have this trail through the woods that has been there and functions now. This was the original land lab, and those trails are moved in there. You see that outside the cafeteria in the middle school. What we would like to do is expand that. So this perimeter of this outline is 1.7 miles. And I talked to Greg Rugen about cross country. He said, I'd like to, I want our kids to use our facilities, have home matches as a coach. It's important to have your athletes be here and be able to compete here. And he said that this would be adequate to host a home cross country meet. So this area here is new. So this is the access road that goes along the east side of our property. It goes back to a oil well. That's our property. And then right here is behind the softball field. It cuts across and goes back by the storage barn. And there's that open field right by Waterloo Road. It's basically a football field in size also. So I would like to stop mowing that, put a trail in there, perhaps plant some fruit trees and nut trees. So that's part of the extension that I would like to put in. And the other part is to extend the woods trail goes to right here, right now. So I'd like to put another addition on there and just put that back into the woods. So there's a longer perimeter, and then you have a trail through here, an existing one, and the trails through this meadow here, and then a couple different trails through here. And then we do something across the hill here that the football team uses for conditioning and different things. So you have a few different cross trails. So you can really get, without doing any backtracking, just doing crossing trails, you can get your 3 miles each week for a cross country. So that's the proposal. I talked to Mr. McKenna, but I don't know if he brought that to you.
You know, it's great for you to present all this stuff. Now, here's what I said.
Yeah.
So Ken took me out, we put our boots on and we went walking. It was snowing.
There was some ice.
I don't know, but it doesn't. We have a science teacher and we have all. So we went out and we played in mud. The thing that I had questions about was when we get closer to Waterloo Road, the concerns that I have are the aesthetics. So what does it look like when you're pulling in? Does it, if we're not mowing, does that take away from things? So Ken chewed on that for a little bit, and that's where he was talking about the fruit trees, the nut trees. I thought that we could advertise, I thought about some signage there saying what this project is all about. Because I think visitors coming in from different districts, they may not know what we're doing, and I think that would be a great way to, I guess, tell them all the great things we're doing. And see, you know, if the kids are taking ownership, the community's taking ownership, and the fruit trees and nut trees, I really think that could get involved and may help with the aesthetic concerns that I had when we were pulling in. Because I didn't want it to look like we weren't mowing it, because we couldn't keep up with it. So I told them that some of them would be very concerned about, and I'm sure you would be as well.
That was gonna be my first question.
So that's what we're hoping to do right in that area to combat that lack of mowing. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Do we need to not know to make the trail? I mean, it's grassy, you can't see a trail with just the trees in there, especially if it's across country. I mean, you know, weeds bring bugs and, you know, where the trees don't. So if they're running that, they just have to run through there. I know you want bugs, but I don't. If I'm running, I mean, it's bad enough to run.
No wild.
They're running,
No wild.
Put one in nature trail without nature trail. I just kidding.
No, I mean, I live with someone that wants, well, I live with two of them that want everything to be natural. So I'm sure the fruit trees would be all, you know, from this area, but that's, I guess that's what I'm asking. Does it have to be, can it just be the trees or does it have to be grown up?
I haven't thought about that. My first thought is, I mean, if you're buying large trees, you're talking about a lot of money. So my philosophy, the way to go about it so far, the trees we planted, we're doing adopting tree with it is big, so that's within a budget. So we're talking about that kind of thing. It's pretty labor intensive to maintain a significant number of trees out on that trail. That's my first thought.
Right.
You want, obviously, but,
Could you do like, if we got some big like 5-gallon pots, 10-gallon pots and start the trees, because you can get them from, the department, I forget what it's called, up there.
Natural wildland.
Yeah, in Ravenna. They have, you can get like 10 trees for $10 on some of the fruit trees.
to me, honestly, the beauty of the no-mow is no maintenance. You still get Tommy will go mow the trail, go there and mow it, that's it. It's just a reduction in him doing something. You're talking about, I mean, the biggest obstacle that I have right now, and the thing, I wasn't delusional in this, I don't think, but I thought I would be able to garner a little more volunteerism, and that has not come. I thought we put in the volunteer hours for a certificate, for a sticker on the diploma or whatever. That has not been incentive for me, as far as me reaching out to students, these are volunteer hours, so that's something that has not come to fruition. So when I get very scared when you start talking about pots,
Okay,
because it's, I mean, I can't do it.
right.
I can't. If we can find, there are groups, and there's a thank you page on the end of this with Leos and Lions and a host of other people, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, they all want to do something, and there's that potential there. But until, if something like that is going to be how it has to go, then somebody's going to have to step up and take that as a project.
Okay, my other question is, are you going to hear on where this access road right here? It's really muddy in there in the spring. So do we have to do some kind of drainage or?
You could cut the trail, I think, in such a way to avoid, if you come, let's see, where the baseball field, right here, you get off the trail, and get into the grass.
Down
So,
that hill?
and, right, for the competitions for cross country, that's in the fall, they run the mud, I don't know, I mean, I think there are different ways that you can go, if it's too muddy, you can back up, but it's, I mean, the woods are muddy, and this area right here, the lower trail, right now is underwater. When the big melt happened 2 weeks ago, whenever that part is underwater. And I knew that. So there are parts that are just going to be accessible at certain times of the year. But I think that's a cool thing, because, from an ecology standpoint, you can look at that just and see different things and see how it can be.
Can I say something? I like the idea just because cross-country runs in the road all the time, and sometimes there's 2 or 3 kids in the road.
Right, I agree.
Over hills and everything else, and it's very dangerous.
It is.
Right in the first run of the road.
The thing that worries me is because it's muddy back there. So I don't know, I mean, if we're gonna do it as a cross-country also, I mean, nature trail and cross-country, we may have to do a little bit more to get it prepared. I don't know, has Greg mentioned that, or do you think so just going through the mud?
We walked a couple of times, but his comment is always it's cross country. We run on it.
Right.
They're like Clyde does that. The other thing that I just wanted to mention is this trail, this stops at the fence out there. So you have that area where the sign is, the roads, what this 20 yards or something.
You want to grow that up to the grass?
I know there are limits.
We've had years where it's been kind of hard to cut out there, and we've had lots of phone calls about it. So if we did it on purpose, we're gonna get lots of phone calls about it. So I think we have to do some kind of signage because,
Our most invasive plant is grass.
yeah.
I would like to eradicate it with
Would it be out of line to say we could probably put a kiosk out there?
You can. That's my one kiosk. That's almost.
Your bucket list is full, huh?
Looking at this, I mean, the only places that I would usually where you would, the way you've got laid out on the plan, you wouldn't mow, is the area, I guess that's to the north of the wastewater area, and then the area to the south, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right, north of there, there and above, and from baseball, that area, those are the only two places we would be, are not mowed.
And there would be, there's some space here that never gets used that I think it makes more sense just to let go and have a trail through there. These people here have a nice little trail system here, which is pretty cool. And, it's private, we might have to put a sign up or something, let people know that that's private. So I would like to not mow this area here.
Actually, the softball field,
It's back, and it's a significant way away from the existing fence now, it's coming in now. And then there's another spot, where it's like a waste hill that Tom dumps some stuff here, so there's some stuff here where you can, just do a little extra.
I don't think anybody's gonna see that.
No, that part I don't.
Right.
I think it is as soon as you can.
Shall I go over?
Why don't you continue, and I'll get the feedback from them, and then I'll share it.
It's a kiosk. There's a little more paint on it now. I have doors in the shop room that are painted. So it is probably an 8-hour workday away from being completed. The map that will go here, it'll be a professional grade map that a student will do. I want to wait until we make a final decision on the trails. Well, I don't want to do a map and have to add it, so I'm going to have that set and one way or the other, make that as just a single map. So this is the pervious concrete, water runs through it famously, just like it's supposed to. Any questions about this? Stop me if you have questions. So the next big thing is this bridge. And the Boy Scout troop who helped us plant the trees last spring, this is probably an 80-foot, I say bridge, more a boardwalk, probably wouldn't be any more than 2 feet off the ground at any one point. So the Boy Scouts are interested in helping with this. I am approaching Lions Club, they may be interested in helping with that. So we have some potential industrial planning help. The guy with the Boy Scouts does it for Lenny Chad. I never forget his name.
Well,
I don't.
Yeah, Chad Roberts.
Chad Roberts. Okay. So he would like to help him does that kind of stuff. So that's the next big thing. It would look something like this, just much longer. This is a small one. So just something so that woods trail and the meadow trail is accessible all year long. But right now it's just, unless you have some really, it's 3 times higher than what we're out there. So just a vision of the original land lab, this thing in 2012, early 2012, and then, I've run into teachers out there who I don't, I love it when I go out there, Mr. Hamilton's out there, or Mrs. Baines out there, and just, kids are picking up grasshoppers. I see them out there, and they go out to the playground, at the end of this thing, I see them out there with little buckets catching grasshoppers, looking for praying mantises and whatever else. That bird feeder, we participate in Project Feeder Watch. It's been so cold this year that we haven't, the last 2 months, we just haven't gone out. I'm not going to take the kids out. It's 12 degrees. This is a birdhouse that kid built in ICT class. So we're trying to integrate all of this stuff into every aspect of the curriculum. We had 5 of those bird houses up. We had chickadees, these are little teeny baby chickadees in here, bluebirds. We had tree swallows in 2 of them, so every single box had native nesting birds. Really cool. It's kind of see it. Get to watch them fledge. So this is our tree planting last spring with the Boy Scout troop. Planted 60 trees. I think we're going to get somewhere close to 30 surviving. A package of bare root trees. So out in this field we have language arts class, which is week. I just happened to be out there one day, just taking things in. She was out there with her language arts class. That's what I want. I mean, I want, personally, I want everybody to go out, use this space, find different ways to integrate outdoor education into their curriculum. These are just citizen science projects that we participate in. So we tag monarch butterflies and report data to the University of Kansas. The feeders that we watch, we report that to Cornell University. There are tree bands up in the woods. It's a global climate study that's been going on 7 years now, so we report that data. Kids go up and take measurements of the bands, and we take that data and report it to the Smithsonian. This is our raised beds that are out front. I love them being out front because they're growing foods people need, and I think it should be visible. This is McCurdy. Ellen McCurdy takes care of that. This is my environmental kids last year putting them in. This is their harvest. So she has their sprouts club. They're starting up next week. I think they're going to start planting their seeds, and then she'll maintain that all over the summertime. I think they have, I don't know, maybe 250 pounds of fresh produce they took to the food shelf this fall. And then our compost program is wintertime is tough, especially this long winter. Decomposition stops, so we're out of space at the moment, but trying to still keep that going. And one of what I wanted to talk about was Adopt a Tree real quick. So this Adopt a Tree program, I presented to all 3 staffs, the middle school, high school, and elementary school, the last couple of days. And, what we're doing with this is we want to, the ultimate fruition of it will be kindergartners this year will go out and each student will choose a tree. They'll adopt that tree. They'll name it, draw a picture of it, take a picture with it, draw a map of it in kindergarten, or do a picture story or whatever they're going to do. Every year they'll come back and they'll go to that tree and do something. The teachers will keep a folder. That folder will have that information they got the first year. So after 13 years, students who are kindergartners now have 13 years of time with that tree. They'll have a picture every year. When they get to 5th grade or 4th grade, I don't do those grades, so I don't know when they do this stuff, but when they get to the point where they can start doing data analysis and data charts and graphing and whatever else they do, they can do that with the data they have from the tree. So this is a way to integrate everything in our curriculum around one centerpiece. So you can do art, you can do digital photography, you can do history, you can do language. This is Elias that she would go out with their French 4 kids and they would speak French from their nature home and look at the tree. So this is a way to tie these kids to, part of the district goals or the mission statement is to tie kids to the community. This is a way to tie these kids to this community. We have a fantastic resource here. I would much rather be, and I think 99% of kids would much rather be outside learning something. You can go do the same thing outside, connect to something real rather than something abstract that's some technical. That's the thing that I'm really excited about is the Adopt a Tree program. I got really good positive feedback from the teachers and administrators who use these programs. We'll see how it goes. We'll see where it's going. So I just wanted to mention that as well. That is all I have. You have other questions? Thanks. This is from 2 years worth of time, made some connections, and had a lot of help from a lot of people. So too much to mention.
I'll visit with them, and then I will report back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just on a side note, Tori, do you want to talk, about the elementary, a lot of the elementary classes are watching the Eagles nest?
Yes, we are. We're watching, usually, this postcard, Jen has it on always in the computer lab when they go in, when they first come in. So we watch the eagle nest that is Berry College, which is roughly in Rome, Georgia. And they had laid 2 eggs, one of them did hatch, and it's amazing to watch them. The other egg, it's not gonna come to fruition, and the male actually tried to bury it, and the female uncovered it back up. And they say eventually the eggs just disintegrate. There's that one that has great, such great video with it to watch. It's mostly the female that's on the nest, and then obviously the coots. They like to catch the coots that are on COOTS, and then they also have what's called an approach cam, to where it backs it up from the nest, so you see the huge nest, which I think most people can't appreciate an eagle nest, at all until they see one. And there's also one in Harrison Bay, Tennessee, that also has some great video on the nest too, that I have found that I have to watch out in the home too. So they are watching the eagles and watching the baby,
And Mrs. Timberlake sent the link to me
Yeah.
and asked me, Matt, do you know about this? I sent it to Mrs. Fusterick, and that was a couple weeks ago, I think. And
Oh, yeah,
and
it's
they've
on
been
every
watching
day.
every day.
Yeah,
The kids are really enjoying it.
they do. They really, really enjoy it. And it's amazing to watch how white that eaglet first was, and then it's a little grayer, and the mom has to actually, she walks around on the nest when it was little like this. You can't have those claws out. You actually see them. You see her walk like this instead of with those talons. And like I said, it was amazing to see the male bury that egg, and she's like, what a nut.
Those cameras aren't all that expensive, we can do that here in our boxes. How cool would that be?
Well, we also have nearby, right down the road, we have,
There's the nesting.
there's a nest in the wall, that? It's something to see.
That and the osprey
It
dogs.
really is something to see and to watch. We're out there all the
There
time.
was the watch waiting on the hatch. I think they hatched last weekend.
It was a Saturday,
Saturday.
because I was lucky, I happened to be watching it, and it was amazing.
And watching how she would get up and she would turn.
Yeah, they call it the egg roll,
The-
but they do the egg roll so often, so.
Yeah, that's-
Okay, so there'll be a moment, Mr. Riley will switch out, they have to switch laptops, and then Mr. Brooks and Mrs. White, we start talking about the bus.
Good evening. I think everybody knows me. Fran, maybe supervisor. Ty is our head mechanic, we gotta give kudos to Ty, because he put all these cameras in, and it would cost us a lot more money if we would have them put them in. And when I called, we had a problem with one of the cameras that was playing sound or something. And he goes, I gotta tell you, because whoever put these cameras in, they did a fantastic job, because I've seen them where they've been upside down, people have been upside down, and he goes, he has them positioned exactly right and everything, and he did a fabulous job on putting these cameras in a timely manner. We got them in at the end of December, but we didn't get all the stuff for them and everything else until mid-January. Yeah, so, how many more do we have to put in? The two buses.
2 buses
Yeah.
and bus 26.
The only three we haven't put in.
And there's 2 cameras per bus.
2 cameras on each bus. They have sound, they have, video. And what's nice is, this is the front camera, this is the back camera. And these are bus drivers. Who did this video for you? See, that's me. And it tells you exactly where the bus is, what road they're on, and everything else, so we can see if they're stopping at their stops. And so we have a parent called in and said, this bus did not stop at my house. It went right past my daughter, and this was this morning actually, went right past my daughter and didn't stop at all. So I actually pulled the driver's route sheet, and it says that she picks up on this road, it's Waterloo Road, and she actually has one child get on at one side of the road and another across the street, and he gets on. So I looked at the video and I watched her stop, and watched the one child get on, and no other child there. There was nobody standing there. So it was nice to say, no, she was not standing out and everything else. And we haven't got all the stop arms hooked up, the lights
Yeah.
on it.
It'll have a bunch of event markers for every time brake lights come on, ambers come on, the reds come on, so you can tell.
I can tell exactly how long that the driver actually stood at, at that house for how many seconds, if they actually did stop or did not stop. We get a lot of those phone calls. The last couple of days, 2 days, I had children punch another student, and then again on Monday. And so got the cameras out, looked that up, and you can see everything on there, whether the child really actually, or what was, even progressing, if there was something progressing. It's kind of hard to hear it sound when you got 30 kids talking up front, and then you do the back camera, and there's 30 kids in the back talking. But sometimes you can distinguish that and see kind of what's going on with the sound. But it's really been helpful already, and I haven't even been in that long, and I had a mother come in on Monday morning. She had a problem. I have a problem with this driver, and she just really talked the driver down. The kids say that the bus is out of control. There's nothing, the kids in the back, they walk around all over the place. So we brought the camera in, we sat down, I sat down with her, and we looked at 3 different days, several different times during the day. We looked in the mornings, we looked in the afternoons, and she kept saying, okay, well, how about this day? And we go to this day, and we could see that these kids were really, really well behaved, and her 3 kids that were in the front seat were, the ones that were going all over the place and having a hard time. So she goes, well, and it's nice. She goes, can I come in and look at this every once in a while to make sure that, that what they're saying is true? And I welcome them to come in and do that. And that's another nice feature, is that we can block out individual faces too. So that, if you go to court, it's nice if you have to go to court, there's something that says, the driver, did this to my child and all this stuff. And we have the cameras now to prove that, this did or did not happen, so.
There's one drawback of the cameras on campus, that we can't let other people watch the cameras, because I don't have that blurability, but I can't blur their faces. Masking that they're running, so I can't mask them, so only the administrators can see the cameras or the police officers. This is a very nice feature, because I
You can use them in court, otherwise
I
you
can
can't use them in
describe what's
court.
happening, but if you see it firsthand, that takes a whole new meaning.
It's probably
You
a
have to
little
sleep, I
more,
think.
comforting to the bus driver too, because,
Some of them don't like it.
well,
They're like,
well, I guess
that's
what I
like
was
invasion
thinking-
of privacy, and I'm like, I'm not looking to nail anybody or anything
No, I was
like that.
thinking more like, because that way they can concentrate more on driving than worrying about looking up at the,
Yeah.
I mean, I know they still do that, but I mean,
Right.
it's constant.
And this will actually play, yeah, go ahead and play it, and then that way you can see,
Just a little bit more peace of mind to have.
Yeah, and the first bus that we put it on, the driver said, you will not believe the change in my kids, how much better they are. He said, he just can't believe how much better these kids are. He said, thank you. So, and I can go to any time that I want, like this is 7:20 in the morning. We were on this bus a little after 8 o'clock, so he can switch back to 8 o'clock, because that's what time we got on there. See how he went down here and turned it to 8 o'clock, we can go back any days. They go back, they start filming over top of each other, but it's probably about 10 days before they do that. So that's plenty of time before a parent would call and say, or if they get a bus card, I read some say that, Mike, you got a bus card, how come, and I can pull the tape, I can watch it. And I've been doing a lot of tape watching lately, so, but some of them are misbehaving. As they're getting off the bus, they're like pounding me, saying, and then they would like say, there's a bus card, you get a bus card. And but I actually have a tape of a bus, if you want to see the kids on it. I mean, that's up to you. But we did bring another tape. around here for your benefits.
Is this like real time as far as?
Yeah,
You know,
what
it's
time
got
it is?
GPS, so you know where it's.
It's 8:03, yeah.
It was.
Mhm, that was 8:03 in the
I
morning.
mean, can you actually, you know what I'm saying? Are you saying, can you?
Oh, can I watch it real time? No,
Okay.
no, we don't have that ability. I mean, they do have the ability to do that if we wanted to, but it's very expensive. It's very expensive. And we saved a lot of money on these cameras by having Ty put them in. And, the bidding process, going through the bidding, we went through Angel Traps, we went through, there was another one. I had got my 4 different bids and stuff. And then we went through the consortium and, went through Fortress. And we got a fantastic deal on these.
Well,
Yeah.
Andy Lackey said that the primary reason was because we buy routes and the parents were concerned about safety, and we thought this would be an added insurance, and it really is. Andy told me that he thought it could be upwards of $50,000 to $60,000 to install the cameras. And Todd and I were pretty nervous about spending that kind of money. Fran went through as many options as possible. One source said it would be $4,000 per camera, and we did how many buses? 20 buses. So we're talking big money. We got one for $1,500 per bus. That was about
That was the cheapest one
$30,000.
besides this one.
And then the consortium price was
$69?
$849 per bus. So we got the price down to $16,980, approximately $17,000 to make this
For
happen.
20 cameras, so.
And we've been very pleased with that.
And with Ty putting them in, and
And that's a
we
big
saved,
saver. So
that was a
instead
big
of
saving.
$17,000 plus install fees, Ty is able to help us with that, and that's a huge deal. So we're really able to curb the cost.
Anything else you want to know about them? Oh, we've got, cows, paws, and everything else I can. This one, we can make this one picture just bigger and only focus on the front or only focus on the back of the bus. And then,
What are these things in the middle there? From the ENOP?
These are your event markers.
Oh,
for
that's
the
what
lights,
lights,
yeah,
brake
brake lights
lights,
are on, brake lights are on,
Okay.
anything like that.
Brad, didn't you say that the bus driver, what we're working on installing, see if we're not there yet, could push a button if an event happens?
Yes.
And then it would
Yes.
tag that on
Isn't
the
it that
video
funny? Yes, you can say
30
that.
seconds prior. So
And
that would help strangers from watching all those videos, and it's
Right.
tagged when it happens.
And I've had drivers call in and say, watch the tape about 7:36 this morning, and I'll say, oh, okay, and I'll mark that down, and then I'll start a couple minutes earlier and start watching from there. Yeah, but they do have it, they will, it's not set up yet all the way either, the event buttons aren't set up yet, but
So
that's something that's being worked on too.
I think the key thing, when Ty, Fran, and I are running, the key thing is get the cameras on, get them functioning, and we can go back and sit through the video. The next layer would be
Right.
making
And
sure
we-
all the bells and whistles will work.
Right, we found a couple ninjas, we had, ordered SD cards, extra ones, so that when we took one out, we could put a new one in. Well, it wasn't recording, we didn't know that, of course, something happened on the bus, we go pull the SD card and it's not going, so,
It was a learning curve.
yeah, it was a learning curve, but, I mean, we hadn't said we had all the cameras in yet or anything else like that, but, we found out that it needed to be formatted, it wasn't formatted, so.
And that's one of the reasons, we started working on this in January, well, December, January.
And
we're not presenting
yeah,
until
middle of
today
January.
because we didn't want to, we didn't want to do the board presentation and then parents expect every bus to be done. We're still 3 buses down, so we wanted to try to time that effectively. That's
And
why
the new
we
buses
moved
we
it.
just got in, so, and they just were inspected on Monday, so they didn't even go on the road until yesterday.
I'm a bus with a meeting up there.
That's it.
Fun happened.
I am.
Do you
So,
guys have any other questions? Fran, Tom?
no.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Mr. Carpenter.
It's just,
I waited until you sat down. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Ty. The only other thing I have, that is not written down, is I wanted to make sure everybody is aware, and we're gonna have a larger gap from this meeting to April, but, I plan on doing a state of the schools in the April meeting under the superintendent's report. And I'll make sure that I, put that on the email distribution and also on Facebook, so the parents are aware that happened. I wasn't doing a separate night, I'll just include that in the board, meeting in respect of, the busy events as are here, on the fast track. So we'll do that in April. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Todd?
Just to call your attention to the addendums rather than lengthy, that's, I think we were trying to pull the agenda together earlier, and then these things came through, after the fact. So we need to add under superintendent's business, under consent agenda, letters C through I. Under treasurer's business, consent agenda, F through G. We also added number 11, executive session, agenda. And we also, after a separate vote, number 10, recommendation there from the board. That's all.
Thank you. Diane?
Yes, our last meeting was February 20th. We had the early childhood development program. The teacher and her two students did a presentation on early childhood development. Secondly, the Ohio Achievement Assessment has been modified because many districts have used more planning days than normal this year. So the modified testing window will be April 21st through May 16th. Students will take the test during the first 2 weeks, and the first 4th week will be the makeup week. Also, the planning for the new animal science program is underway. Mr. Griffith is meeting with McHenry and Associates, and they're going to discuss the lab construction project. Plans are in place to collaborate with Habitat for Humanity of Portage County on a construction project this coming school year. And Maplewood is excited to partner with Habitat for Humanity. This will enable Maplewood students to be part of a house build without putting taxpayer dollars at risk for the spec home. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ken, legislative update?
Well, it, both the education committees and the House and Senate are back at it. Obviously, weather's been a major concern of recent. We initially thought that the added calamity days were going to buy through the process, and unfortunately it didn't. It voted out of the Senate, but the House did not vote it through. It went down 56 to 39. Now it goes to conference committee, where they will try to resolve their differences and try to collaborate on getting something together. Next scheduled vote at the earliest would be March 12th. So we'll wait and see what happens there. House Education Committee is moving forward with the House Bill 393, which is pretty unique and interesting in that it's going to require public high schools to publish an annual career decision guide, which should help our students and interact with them to give them more choices, make sure that they understand the options that are available to them for both post-secondary and career schools. So that's an interesting bill that's going to be coming through the process. House Bill 367 is also a bill that is relating to the drug issues that we're experiencing throughout the state. You know, that Governor Kasich has made that a priority to integrate some kind of drug education program. House Bill 367 addresses the dangers of prescription opiate abuse. And I mean, you can't stress enough the challenges of being a kid in this day and age and having to deal with the influences that are out there and the importance of making good decisions. So if we get some of these educational programs in, I'm far behind it, you know. The House has already passed diabetes legislation that's been up for a while. Requires notification of entitlements to the parents regarding a care plan for diabetic children. It also addresses some of the requirements that the school district will have to make sure that we're aware of. And that's about it. I mean, it's hot and heavy right now. We'll see where it goes. I'm sure things will start to come out of committees and go into the House and Senate for a vote. You never know when it's in committee whether it's going to be the same bill. So by the time they change things, if they can ever agree on anything.
Can I add to that, Mayor? As we spoke last Thursday, the teachers you passed the blizzard bags. Friday, a letter went out to the teachers, and they have been working on creating the first of 3 assignments for the blizzard bags. They are due this Friday. Okay, so next Friday, they're due for the first assignment.
It's Monday.
So,
Monday the 10th is the first ones are due. All the teachers have it in by the 10th.
so they have to be in by the 10th for the teacher for the first assignment, and then we will assign them to the students shortly thereafter. Thor and I are going to meet to determine when we're going to do that assignment. We're moving forward with the plan as if the legislators aren't going to grant us anything. I think that is the safest bet. It's going to take 6 weeks. So if you give 2 weeks per assignment, that's going to take 6 weeks. That's going to be the end of April to wrap that up, and you take in spring break and the Easter holiday. So we are going to move forward as planned, and the teachers have been graciously working on that, and I think we're on track. Thank you.
Okay, anybody have anything in the new business? Well, the only thing I have is, I mentioned it, I don't know, one of the other meetings, we're doing, it's kind of with the district, but it's more with a group that's trying to raise money towards the stadium improvement, and they're doing a drive through your school. If you want to get a flyer, it's April 5th from 10 to 3, for every person that drives, Sarchion Ford is bringing up vehicles, and for every person that drives Ford will give the school $20. So I hope that they can raise up to $6,000 if they get in. So we're hoping to get all 300 people, drivers, one per family. Also, the 15th of March is the Athletic Boosters annual reverse raffle. It's one of their biggest fundraisers. It's really a nice night if you want to go. But also our athletic boosters buy all of our uniforms, all of our varsity, and now some of our middle school uniforms. So we're very appreciative of the boosters for doing that. It saves us quite a bit of money, and so we can support them if anyone wants to go. You can see myself or any other booster member. But the tickets are, I think they need to know by Friday if you're going, because it's the following Saturday. So they need to get a count into the
And
ticket.
you can buy just a raffle ticket like I did.
They're $50 a ticket,
Right.
and or if you can't attend, you can buy a $25 ticket just for the grand, and that goes if you can be in with the grand prize, which is $1,500. So you can do that too to support them if you can't attend. So it's really a nice night.
Where is that?
It's at Paradise Country.
Paradise.
Yeah. So, but it's a nice it's a nice evening for them. They're going to be honoring this year. They have, three, they started a new, program where they honor, distinguished members that have been in for a long time. And, they're honoring Jennifer Ford and Wise Chevrolet because they're no longer in business and they have helped us much through the years. And so they're honoring them, and the third one is Gerald White, so, who has been on our chain gang for, I believe, 48 years. You know, Brian? How long has it been?
I think
Since
48.
60, since they first started playing football. Something, yeah, like 48 years. A long time. He's been doing it a long time, so he's one of our other honorees this year. So that's good. So it's gonna be a nice one. 48? Yeah, so, anyway, so, if you wanna help with anything, you can see me after the meeting or someone else.
Watching the engineers.
Yeah.
I was hoping, wishing you were a math teacher there.
Science.
I know, that's why I didn't put it in town.
All right, on to the consent agenda. Any notes that you wanna make?
Several. So the first one, D-Rater, one of our bus drivers, has been with us for a long time. She found another position elsewhere, and we want to wish her the very best. But we are saying goodbye to her. Her last day was last Friday. Jumping over to the addendum, Carrie Dennison on item C, she just had her new baby, and mom, they are healthy and good news. That's all good news. Everything's wonderful. She went early. I'm thinking to myself, my wife has never went early when she's in labor, so I'm a little angry with her, but I work through that because everybody is happy.
When is your wife due?
May 15th, and I'm sure that means we'll be a week late.
She can't wait till school's out or?
No, well, she can, but she may harm me if I wish that, so, I will not be wishing.
Sorry, Blaine, if you're watching this.
Early and healthy. Yeah, okay, so we wish her the very best. Sarah Heppy is also going to be shortly for a break. She is also pregnant, and we wish her luck to go through that process. E is, we're going to obtain quotes. We have a handicap bus that is small and it's not accommodating our needs. And Fran wants to look at trading that in and getting a bigger bus, all used items, but we think that we can do it relatively cost effectively and actually be able to transport more kids and use it, because we have this bus essentially we're not able to use because it's not meeting our needs. So we don't want it sitting there idle. If we can get some money out of it and get a bigger unit, that's what we do. Then we have G. G's a pretty important one. Anthony Streeter, who is with us tonight, is our new interim assistant principal. He graciously accepted the offer yesterday. I'm very excited. Yes, we can applaud him. Yeah, very excited. To him, you have a fan club already. That's pretty exciting. They don't applaud for me. Just to give you a little background, I gave you a sheet that we're going to send out tomorrow to the teachers with a picture, and I told them I photoshopped it to make them nervous. I did not. So maybe I'll send you something nice for tomorrow for the teachers. He is a Bowling Green graduate. He taught in Toledo, social studies teacher before he went into administration. When he moved back into this area, he worked with the charter schools in Akron. He's been an assistant, he's been a dean of students, assistant principal, and a principal. I feel like he has a lot of experience, and I'm very much excited for him to join the team. Some of you got a meeting before the meeting, if you didn't, I'll make sure you meet at the end. He lives with his wife and his 3.5-month-old baby, Claire. So he claims that she is sleeping through the night. I also work through that because my children do that. But I wasn't together. But I'm very happy for him, and I'm happy for him. So thank you again. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, that's G. Now H. H is the new bus driver that's replacing, that's Kim Eisenman. She is replacing D-Rater, so that's why we have that new position there. I is the after-school program. We do a reading program and a math program. We approved, we're doing reading now, is that right? We did-
No, Matt just finished up tonight with reading, these are the reading tiers.
Okay, so math is first, we board approved math, these are the reading tiers. Same concept, just changing disciplines. And we approve them separately. That's all I have for consent. Mr. Carpenter, do you have anything you have for that?
Give me a question, like, anybody wants to get standard routine, your monthly or yearly.
Before you do vote on that, notice that, I mean, we separated, there's drama volunteers. My wife Lena is one of them. We separated her out to item 10, just so it's not a part of the consent agenda. There isn't a conflict of interest because there isn't compensation offered for that. She's doing the choreography for Annie the musical. She's helped out previously prior to me working for the district. She's doing that again this year. But I wanted to make sure that that was something that I wasn't recommending, so there could not be any perceived conflict of interest. But once again, it is a non-paid volunteer status. And that's 10, so we did that. The reason why I moved it off of the consent agenda to a separate item.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the additions on the addendum?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Any questions or comments? Welcome, and I didn't get to meet you before, so I'll mention. Okay, roll call.
Mr. Terry?
Yes.
Whittlesey?
Yes.
Gump?
Yes.
Fletcher? Yes. Rob?
Okay, motion passes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, under number 10, I have a motion to recommend, to approval of Lena Montgomery as a volunteer for the drama.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Any questions or comments? Roll call?
Mr. Terry?
Yes.
Whittlesey?
Yes.
Gump?
Yes.
Fletcher? Yes. Rob?
Yes. Motion passes. Okay, can I have a motion to recess into executive session where we will discuss, employment? So moved. Second?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call?
Mr. Terry?
Yes.
Whittlesey? Gump?
Yes.
Fletcher? Yes. Rob?
Yes. Okay. We don't expect to have any action coming out of executive session. Thanks everyone for coming.
Who's going to stay out?